Hi again, guys. So, in continuance, after a nightmare with my webcam, turned out it was the browser I was using. Took my kid to help me figure it out. However, part two, I guess you'd say, of my autoimmune disease, what it's done and doing to me, etc. Last video, I ended off with how it all started. And basically, so it was like flu-like symptoms, fever, just don't feel well. I missed a lot of school from this. I was unable to participate a lot of times in gym because of this. And I really think, if there's any parents out there, your kids start having these kind of weird symptoms, definitely get them checked out because it's such a hard disease to detect as it is. And when you're a kid, you get labeled as a hypochondriac. You get labeled as you didn't, you just don't want to go to school, that kind of thing. That wasn't the case. I generally did not feel good, but getting through to some doctors sometimes with that is easier said than done. Hopefully the quality be a tad better with now. I don't know, because I definitely need a new webcam, I think. Yes. I don't think, I know. So the next major symptom I had was my knees. And this happened when I was about 15, 16. And mainly my left knee. I'd be walking home from school and all of a sudden just wham, pain. And to the point where one time it did knock me right down on the sidewalk. And I went to many doctors. Oh, we can't find out what's wrong. After x-rays, blah, 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 blah. Went to an orthopedic surgeon. Had a long battle with him as to what's going on, because that's who they sent me to. And finally, he decided to do exploratory surgery. And he went in with the probie thingy, looked around my knee, that kind of thing, and said that I had a tendon that was pulling my kneecap off center and causing me the pain. That it was too short or something. Yeah, I don't. So anyway, it was probably a waste of time, this surgery, unfortunately, and not to mention harder on my body, because even though he did, what am I saying? He detached it and reattached it to a different bone or something. I went through months and months of physiotherapy to get the muscle back into my leg, etc. So yeah, it was a really tough time. Being a kid, top it all off, and, homeschooling, blah blah blah. So about the same time my knees started, I started getting what they called chronic tendonitis in my wrists. Just they hurt, and sometimes just moving them a certain way. It wasn't a constant pain. It was more like when I moved them a certain way or went to pick up my coffee cup, that kind of thing. It hurt, and I was labeled as a tendonitis, and I went through that over and over and over again. Sometimes this would take a few days to go away, which tendonitis doesn't go away in a few days for anybody who's had it. Sometimes this would take, a week, 2 weeks, a month, and it went on and on like that. The other thing I had around the same time started is problems with my shoulders. And what I mean by that is, if I was to lift my arm above my head, like this, oh, see, already my arm's getting weak and tired. Also, a lot of numbing, tingling in my arms and hands. Mind you, I sleep with my head tucked under my pillow, which is a bad thing to do. I've got shoulder problems, but that's the way I sleep. I can't get comfortable any other way. So therefore, I'd wake up in the morning and my arms would be completely numb. I couldn't feel a thing. So putting pressure on the nerves and so forth. But my shoulders were always very weak and tired, especially when I put them over my head. So that started as well. Another symptom I had at that point was, whether, again, it was related or not, was I had a dry patch right in the back of my head, right about there. Just a circular dry patch. Totally baffled my hairdresser at the time. And she'd cut my hair, it would be smooth for a little while, and then poof, it would be back again. Eventually, this led to all of my hair being frizzy, like it is now. It just spread, whatever, I don't know what you call it. Never thought it had anything to do with this until, of course, recently, when I started reading and understanding more. So yeah, it's that and coupled with a lot of hair loss. Yes, I have long hair. Yes, I have thick hair, but I would brush my hair and I have to clean the hairbrush out every time. Now, same thing. Brush my hair, I got to clean out the hairbrush every time. Hair, when I brush it, is like the same. It's full hair, I got to wipe it out, as well as take it out of the hairbrush. So that was another thing. As I was younger, I was also chronically plagued with cold sores. Now, whether or not, again, that has anything to do with anything, who knows, it's a virus, they say, so probably not. And warts, which is another virus. So whether this is triggered by a virus-related thing, who knows. Since got rid of my warts, I seem to grow out of it. Cold sores, still get them. Nowhere near as severe, though. So, don't know. Right now, as a matter of fact, I just got over right here. I had a cold sore, and right here from the cold sore, it's all numb. It's not really numb. Like, to touch it, I can still feel, but it feels like a cold sensation. Like, it feels cold. Mainly when I touch it. So, again, it's got to do with the skin involvement, like the nerve endings in the skin, and I think that's a big part of this autoimmune thing, because I've got a lot of different nerve / blood type or vessel type symptoms as well. Like, you probably can't see it because it's too bright, but yeah, you can't see it. But I have spider veins, what they call. Well, it's not spider veins though. I was told it was spider veins. When I look up spider veins, it's like a little circular lesion, and it kind of just spreads out like that. Little lines. That's not what this is. It's just basically little lines, little red vessels that you can clearly see through my skin. That started later on, so I won't get into that too much just yet. But as far as skin involvement at that point, no, I would say no. I didn't really have any significant skin involvement other than contact dermatitis, which I also have, which is an allergy to something you come in contact with, they say, and in my case, it was metals. The only thing I can wear is gold. Aren't I lucky? Can't even wear gold in my ears, though. And I'll get to that too. So that was the next phase, I guess you'd say. I can see my nose is starting to act up again. Um, and was the shoulder issues, just tired. Same aching in the legs, tired. Like your muscles always feel tired. And it doesn't matter, like I was into soccer and stuff when I was younger, which I had stopped because of all this. It didn't matter whether you exercised or not. When this flared up, it flared up. It had nothing to do with the amount you exercise. It had nothing to do with, as far as activity level. It really had nothing to do with it. If it was going to flare up, it was going to flare up. No matter how healthy you were, whether you're an athletic runner or whether you're a person who never leaves a computer, it didn't matter. So that was a biggie. So those are basically the symptoms I had up until I was 19. And then the back problem started. What I thought was a hip problem, actually. And now whether or not my hip pain is due to my back, they say it is. But what would happen, I'd go take my dog for a walk, because I used to be very active. I used to walk 5 to 7 miles a day. Love to walk. And I took my dog for a walk, and I had this like pain in my hip, and I was like, what the heck? And again, left side. I'm mainly affected on my left side for some reason. And I went to the doctor, and I was like, what's going on? You know, like, why is my hip so sore? And she did x-rays, and that's when she told me it wasn't my hip, it was my back. Even though the pain was in my hip, which made no sense to me. But that's when I was told that I had these facet joints, degeneration in my back, and so on and so on and so on. Nothing they could do about it. Okay. So that's when I really started suffering with back pain. And hip pain, which they say is connected to my back. I really don't know. I'm going to assume it is. So those were the next huge set of symptoms all the way up until I had my first kid. No, sorry. The other huge part of my symptoms, what am I saying, is when I was younger, from just I'd say about 16 till I was childbearing age, or just after childbearing age, actually. I had what they call fibrocystic breasts. My breasts were so painful, you could not touch them. I felt sorry for my men, but anyways, in my life at that point. Very painful breasts, and would flare up and go down with my cycle, as well as prone to cystic ovaries. I'd always be getting cysts on my ovaries. And cysts throughout my body, that's another problem I have with this, is cysts and ganglion cysts and those kind of things throughout different areas. So that's something I went through surgeries for, everything else. Eventually, that did settle down. Thank goodness. So those were the ones as the teenage years, I guess you'd say, until I started having kids. Then things started to change after the children were born. My first son, he was born premature, 3 weeks. He was 5 pounds, 13 ounces. Yeah. So he was my firstborn, and I'm running out of time, I just noticed. So I will continue this in the next video. But that's when things started to change, and I'll get into that in the next one. So see you later, guys.